Next up, at UFC 311, we have Jailton Almeida taking on Serghei Spivac. Jailton Almeida, 21-3 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5 years, coming off that bounce-back win over Alexander Romanov. He's taking on Serghei Spivac, 17-4 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a bounce-back win over Marcin Tybura. Jailton Almeida is an absolute savage. I love this guy. I have picked him pretty much in every single fight, including the Curtis Blades fight, which I know he lost, but he was dominating before he just sort of froze up on that leg. He's an absolute savage. He has not looked like a human being yet outside of the one mental lapse. Powerful hands. We don't really see a ton of them, though, because he's all in, nonstop on the wrestling and the grappling. All but one of his wins are by stoppage, and that's because of his nonstop pressure. He will come in hot. He will relentlessly work for takedowns, and once he hits the ground, he will chase submissions and then hit you in those transitions. He has only ever been to one single decision in the UFC, and even that was an insanely dominant performance. He did just beat the hell out of Romanov, where he only needed one single takedown in 3 minutes to get it done. He is taking on fellow grappler Serghei Spivac, heavyweight grappler. He's got great ground and pound, solid takedowns, okay submission game. He is a capable striker, but it's not fantastic. He does not have knockout power, but a decent enough jab and solid volume. His biggest issue is control. The reason he averages around 5 takedowns per fight is because people are standing up on him because he can't keep them there. This is going to be a pretty juiced fight card. Every fight we're breaking down, you can see what the odds are. They're pretty wide. And I get it. And this is a fight that I'm surprised hasn't widened, because I think Jailton Almeida just takes down Serghei whenever he wants to. And then off of his back, what's Serghei going to do? Throw up an armbar? Yeah, maybe. But Jailton Almeida is not Marcin Tybura. He's a physical beast. We know he's got cardio. We saw that in the Derek Lewis fight. We know he's powerful. We know he's got the wrestling. We know he's got a BJJ black belt. Jailton Almeida absolutely sprint runs through Serghei Spivac. If Serghei had big one-punch knockout power, maybe. But he doesn't. So Jailton Almeida absolutely ruins Serghei Spivac here. Jailton Almeida is the pick, and I think these odds are honestly kind of a discount. What do you think, Chicky boy?
Yeah, I've obviously been a Jailton hater. Famously, I've picked against him a number of times, and one of those times it paid off. And for this to pay off for Spivac, he's got to make Jailton work, right? You got to extend this, because if you make him work, you saw how tired he got against Derek Lewis. And yeah, he was still able to get the takedowns, all that stuff against Derek Lewis. But against Serghei, you'd think it would be a little bit different. So you got to be able to survive. You got to be able to make this guy work, get to the second round, get to the third round, and start seeing what happens. But Jailton just has so much success early. It's just hard to see any other outcome. So, while I don't like the guy, and I almost root against the guy pretty actively because I think he's overrated, he's got all the opportunity in the world to kind of roll here. So I'm going Jailton.
All right. At least you're finally on the right side of history here. I'm with you. Jailton should dominate here. I'm surprised his odds didn't take off. Like Rinya's odds took off, so why not Jailton? Because Serghei's won a couple of fights. And I've referenced this fight before, and it's almost unfair to do because it's so long ago. But remember when he fought Alexei Olenek? Quite literally the worst fight I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was bad. And that was a few years ago, and he hasn't looked that bad since. But Jailton has only had one single, lapse in judgment. Outside of that, complete domination from him. Jailton Almeida should dominate here as well. $9,500 in DraftKings Fantasy. I absolutely think that is worth it. And if you do want to check out the bets we got on this fight, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 for an entire month's worth of access. Here, I'm going to show you the video. Tiffany recorded that whole thing. That's him walking to my office, all creepy. Just standing there, dude.
Thank God I was paying attention. Otherwise, he'd been there for quite a while.
My heart dropped when I turned around because I was just trying to process what the hell was going on. How long was he there for? Well, I guess even when I noticed, he didn't move an inch. You can't hear the audio, but that's me going, next up at UFC, and then you pointed out. That was creepy as hell. That was creepy. Oh, well.